Good evening to our third episode from Bread Talk.
Hello, hello.
Today we picked the history of open crumb bread.
A very hot subject now. Open crumb. Everybody wants to make open crumb.
Yeah,
Why?
how started? I want to explain a little bit how everything started in the internet, how we are now, and where we are going. Yeah.
You like to make open crumb.
It's not that I like it. I think
It's a challenge.
it's a challenging. It belongs. It makes a sourdough baking different. It's not only about sourdough open crumb because, of course, open crumb. Let's start with the history.
Yeah.
The history of open crumb started many years ago. When
How many?
For me, I think 9 years. 9 years in Facebook when I posted the first crystal bread, pan de cristal. I posted this bread and actually
Where you did it?
I did it in Panama. It was more a challenging training a wet dough to get a little bit more better skills in the hand for shaping, to get a feeling for bread. The reason was not was the idea behind was not to open crumb. It was like
An accident.
the accident. I will not say accident, but it came like automatically, putting more water, going more gentle with the dough, going further with the fermentation, was automatically then in one moment we had an open crumb, and this was very attractive to see. And then the bread groups was still like virgin.
Yeah, no, now you can see
Yeah, now it's
much more than in that time in the internet because only you how much you teach this and others also because it's like a chain also.
yeah, now there are a lot of people who can do these kind of
Yeah,
things.
of course.
Yeah, and everybody's goal is do it like this. If you have if you start sourdough baking, then you want to do
Yeah,
finally.
it's not a production bread. It's like a challenging bread. It's like when you want to challenge yourself. You are a baker, and now you say, okay, now I want to go to next level and to see my limits.
Yeah, more or less it's like this. But here we are also. I think still in a industrial production, it's more easy to do the open crumb than at home with a KitchenAid.
Yeah, of course. When we talk about mixing, definitely.
Yeah, because
Yeah, but it's why I say this because it's not a bread which it's a very good bread when it's fresh in the first 1 2 hours, and then it's like losing a little bit the value, the taste,
definitely it's a bread which you have to consume
in the same day.
fast. Yeah, like a croissant, like a baguette.
That's why I said it's not a production because it's not like a.
No, in a sourdough bread you can, but if it's when it's cutted, of course, it's more sensible for getting dry and all these kind of things. But I said definitely each bread, if you cut it, is like get sensible for getting dry and losing quality. Yeah, it's bread has to be. Yeah,
What do you think about this hype? What is now with the open crumb? Because I have the feeling that also in panettone, everybody is running about holes, big holes, big holes. Everybody wants big holes.
yeah, of course. We was also running behind this. To be honest, with the panettone, we was also running behind the open crumb, but later on, it became like a competition, and it lost my interest Yeah, in bread is a different story because for one side we are making sourdough with the sourdough to do it, and on the other side doing baguette or ciabatta. I'm not friend of making sourdough ciabatta or sourdough baguette because I think these products are really suffering with
Yeah.
if they are pure sourdough. They are getting chewy very quick. It's the same like focaccia. Yeah, it's a lot of people think they have the holy grail and they make only sourdough baguette or ciabatta or focaccia. And for me, it's not really.
Yeah, this is another subject for another podcast. Why
Yeah,
why
yeah,
people
of course.
put in the corner so much the yeast in the last years, and they
Yeah,
blame it, but it's another
yeah, it's like
subject. Yeah.
poisoning the world. For me, the attractive part is really in sourdough bread baking, the fermentation.
Yeah.
The fermentation is going to the border, then knowing the flour. You have, let's say, when we make a sourdough country loaf, and we try to make an open crumb. We have some key points. The key points is, of course, first the selection of the flour. The next is the kneading. Yeah, how I knead the bread. The hydration. The hydration has to be also balanced to the flour because
But it's true that everybody thinks that only with high hydration you can make open crumb, but it's not like this. You can get open crumb also with a little bit lower hydration. I mean, when we talk about fermentation,
yeah,
when you know it,
I think each flour has its point where you get the best crumb, and it's not always like okay, with this flour I use 85% hydration. Maybe with another flour I'm much better with 74% hydration.
exactly.
Yeah, because the flour can maybe not handle the water amount very well. Yeah, and you go counterproductive
Here
here.
is why we don't recommend recipes. Everybody's asking for the recipe, but actually it's the feeling because maybe my
It's
recipe I give it to a person from Europe and it's not working the same because he has different flour and
yeah, it's about the different flour. It's all different. You have to when we travel always until we settle in a point and until we get the same result like in the last place where we was, it takes time. It
yes.
takes time because the details are different. Yeah, if you are working all day long in the same place and the same table with the same
You make a
flour,
routine already.
you make a routine and then the things comes easy. Yeah, but if you then change the things, then it's different. And here is the experience very important to observe the fermentation, how long you can go to feel the dough,
Exactly.
because definitely when we are talking about open crumb, we are going very far with the fermentation. We are talking about let's for example doing a middle range flour. Middle range flour I will consider flour 12.5 protein, or let's say a W 300, 320, between 280 and 320. It's for me like a middle range flour. With this doing a fermentation, then we are talking about going to 100% volume. Yeah, volume means we at least we double in the sourdough, we double the volume, and then we have to feel how strong is the flour because finally we have only a time window where we can make the bread, where we can shape the bread and bake the bread without losing.
And here depends on the flour.
Yeah, you depend on the flour. And with a weaker flour, you cannot go so far. Yeah, if you have a W 220 flour, 240, you can maybe only go for volume 20-25%, and then you have to shape. Yeah, and
Yeah, but you know that everybody thinks that you have to use a strong flour to get open crumb, and it's exactly
The thing is,
the opposite.
when you it's not only the opposite. It is when you have a very strong flour, you need more water, and you have to go maybe not even to double. You have going maybe to triple, and this is the point where the most of the people have not the balls to do it. But even with 100% volume rising, with double volume rising, you are you are in a point that you feel like uncertain. But
Yeah, yeah,
going, let's say, with a W360 or 380 flour, you're going then to triple. In bread baking, you don't see this. In panettone, everybody tell you, oh, at least you have to triple the dough. 4 times you have to go with the first dough. Of course, you have to go 4 times because the most of the flour what the people are using is a W400, 380, 450. Means the W is equivalent for
with
the
the
rising
yeah
for the rising. If I have a W from 300, yeah, in panettone, then I cannot go
four
4 times
times. Yeah,
because then I will lose my dough. But when I have 380, I can go easily 4 times, even a little bit more, 4.2 in volume when we are talking in volume. And here in bread baking, I haven't seen anybody who make a sourdough bread going really tripling the dough. But when you have a very strong flour, actually, to achieve open crumb, you have to go there. You have to go very far. This is the point. You have to know your flour. You need a lot of experience. You need to feel the dough. When you flip the dough on the table after bulk fermentation, then it has to feel like a pillow, like like uh, like a pillow, like a air.
yeah. But you know that a lot of people don't know what is a successful open crumb and what is an undeveloped, let's say, unproved.
Ah, okay, yeah. This is more.
We
You
saw
see,
a lot of pictures with big holes, like in a crumb, and dense part, and they say, "Ah, wow, I want
yeah.
also like this."
It's always, yeah, it's always also in baguette. I see many crumbs, they are very bready inside and they have a lot of holes,
And they think that's the open crumb.
but finally it's bready. Yeah, okay, maybe I will not sell, I will not say, I think for point of view, how you want to see this, yeah,
Yeah, of
is
course.
like a lazy crumb,
Exactly.
like a open crumb, like airy crumb. The people cannot understand it, and actually, the if you have a real open crumb bread, it's also more for eating. You have to be a bread eater who like to eat the bread, not to put.
Butter.
It's not about the butter because the butter you can always put. You
I
can
know,
put.
but now you know why I say this because we
Yeah,
always
okay,
have this
okay. You can. Okay, maybe not spreading butter on it, but you can
deep
in a
it.
soft butter. You can dip it. You can put salt on it, but to enjoy a real open crumb bread, you have to have also the knowledge to eat the bread. It's like
Yeah,
drinking a good wine from a crystal glass or from a plastic.
exactly.
And this is the most of the people not, especially in Germany. I know this also. There for them is very important what they can put all on the bread. And finally, sometimes you see some bread. Then I ask myself, I don't know if he had now a carton or a bread. He don't feel the difference because the topping is so big that he don't know even what kind of bread he's eating. Yeah, but this is culture, culture what the people want, how they want. But in Italy, you are used to eat the bread with the food. Yeah,
And in the end, it's about the bite, what you have it. The bite is different in an open crumb than in
the
a.
bite is different, the crust is different, the the whole structure is amazing. It's maybe it's amazing because we get it not daily,
Yeah,
and
it can be also.
this this makes it that is not usual. Yeah, and then when we make the bread, and even when you do high hydration, you make one mistake in the shaping, and you take out with any mistake in the shaping or in the pre-shape, then you take out more or less the air, and you have a bready, you have a normal sourdough bread, yeah, and this with a lot of hydration. But like higher more water is inside, more difficult it's also to shape the loaf and to make it like it gets very open. And then it's also the question, also I think one of the mistakes that people always doing is the cold fermentation. They think always longer they ferment in the fridge, more open gets the bread. Yeah. And actually, when you go over a time, more even gets a crumb.
But that's also good. An even crumb, yeah.
Yeah, it's an even nice crumb. But it's always is a question of what you search.
Exactly.
If you search a wild, open crumb bread with a good volume, which develop in the oven like hell, then you have to make a shorter bulk. Yeah, of course, a shorter bulk and a shorter cold fermentation, and
Not
then
to let the gas to settle.
yeah. When the dough start to get like I say, if it goes to 12 hours, 14 hours, 15 hours, then the possibility that your crumb get more nice, it's much higher.
I tell you that from remember in my baking room, my students several times they post a very nice crumb, even, but they are they are not they are disappointed because they don't have the big holes. But actually, the crumb is very good, and I always tell them an even crumb is a sign of good fermentation, of good handling the process. Yeah, but they are disappointed that this hype of everybody wants, and even if when they make a good bread, they are disappointed because it has no big
But
holes.
mostly, if you ask for the shuttle, how they do all the correct things.
Yeah.
And when you then see, then finally they go 18 hours in the fridge. Yeah. If you, for example, when we make open crumb bread, we start to mix at 11 o'clock. We make bulk fermentation until 4, 5 o'clock. Pre-shape, we shape the bread, and at 3, 4 o'clock we bake the bread in the morning. And the other, anybody who do it at home, he stand up maybe at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9, and bakes the bread, and then the bread was already like, if you count,
exactly, because
a long time in the fridge.
You wanted to point the most important things to achieve an open crumb. You made this guide, this ebook, which we will launch this week, where you will share all the experience which you had. It's not.
Let's say, it's not an ebook. It's like a guide, open crumb guide, where I put my experience inside from point to point, from selecting the flour, from the kneading process. The kneading process is very important because I still believe it's very hard with hand kneading, with KitchenAid kneading, with all this kind of stuff. It's very hard to achieve this
You have to know how to do it.
Yeah, this dose range, what actually you need.
Maybe you can, but you have very good flour. Let's say you need a very, very good flour.
What we cannot really see is after kneading, how good is our gluten structure.
Yeah.
This is, you see after the bulk fermentation, because the window pane is an indication, but it can be also subjective. After 4 or 5 hours, 85-87% hydration, maybe your dough is not developing the dough range what you need. For the gluten range what you need to rise this bread. This can have also the reason that your sourdough was maybe not in the best stage, that your kneading was not enough, yeah, or the way how you was kneading was not good. All these kind of things, there can be a lot of reasons, yeah. And in my guide, I try
To explain.
to explain this a little bit to help the people, and then of course you have always also to have in mind in this stage, let's say after 5 hours bulk fermentation or 6 hours bulk fermentation, you put a very sensible dough on the table, then each movement, the cutting, there is a lot of possibility where you can damage the dough.
Yeah.
Only when the dough sticks to the bowl, yeah, and you stretch it, this part you are degassing.
Then the pre-shaping, then the shaping, yeah.
Yeah, then they have also
Even when you put it in the oven, you can destroy it.
yeah, or it sticks to the baneton. Yeah, you need a good mixing between rice flour and normal flour, that it's okay. And the also when you're ferment in a higher temperature, the doughs are always more sticky, more, let's say here we have always 28-degree minimum, and the doughs are from naturally they are a little bit more difficult to handle, like in 22 or 24 degree. Okay, if I'm in 22 or 24 degree, my bulk fermentation takes longer. But finally, the dough is also a little bit more easy to handle than to have it in 30 degree and with 88% of humidity. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How difficult is to make open crumb when you travel all over?
Yeah, it's always in each place is a different story. More or less, I get used now to know it, but
Because people, when you make a course, let's face it, everybody wants that you make open crumb.
yeah, okay. It's always the expectations are very high. It's a
And
little
the
bit
pressure on you is high.
yeah, it's a little bit nasty because I think when you make a course, first of all, it's the same also when you teach people. It first of all is to give the information to the persons. Nobody is winning anything when I give when I make a good bread and they cannot do it.
Yeah.
The idea is that the students later on can do it. But yeah, we have a lot of students that do successful bread, and yeah, this is important. The thing is also, yeah, we do for one side, we make a lot of with sourdough. For the other side, we have with baguette. Baguette is one of uh, my favorite bread. And in the moment, we don't do baguette because we don't have an oven to bake a baguette.
Soon you will have it.
Soon we will have one.
We have another oven.
And yeah, it's yeah. If the baguette don't fit in the oven, then I'm not.
But now that you say don't fit in the oven, you know that I made the mini baguette course,
Mhm.
and it's much more difficult to achieve an open crumb in a smaller baguette.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Between make an open crumb with a 200-gram baguette or 175-gram, and a 350-gram baguette is a difference. It is the same with a sourdough bread. If you have a bread with 750 gram, for example, or 1.2 kilo,
It's different.
it's always different. Then also the bread, how you shape it, makes a difference. Or some people they cut it only with wood and put it in the oven. Then it's more or less like a ciabatta. Has nothing. It's a different story.
Yeah, but
there are many ways.
In the end, all these holes and all these crumbs is only for us because now we know we was working in so many bakeries, and people take the baguette and they break it and they eat it, and they don't even see you have a big hole or a small hole or open crumb but the taste is good.
Especially a baguette with an open crumb, with a good crumb, tastes totally different. Like a baguette which is full of crumb, full of bread. Yeah. It's very bready.
Yes, but I only say that mostly 80% of the clients, they don't go home to cut the baguette like we do and now to see the crumb and now we eat it. They eat it, it's good, but they don't know why it's good.
Yeah, okay, but for example, when we do sandwiches or like this, and the thing is, if in our position, we have to keep the tradition like it is,
Yeah.
And a good baguette lives
Yeah, of
from
course.
an open
We
crumb.
always have to aim to have a good
Yeah.
product.
Yeah.
You cannot enter
No,
in a
it's
comfort zone and say, "Oh no, it's good also like this." No,
yeah.
because then
With all food is like this. When you say, okay, this client don't know anything,
no,
then
no,
you lose it. Yeah, you have to go ahead with this kind of thing, sticks to the details, and all this. This makes the bread baking attractive. Yeah,
and
if
a successful business, because we talk these days about a business which we have part there, and we know how successful it is exactly because she sticks to this.
yeah,
She follows all what she learned from us, from you, and she try each day to do the best baguette, the best tortine, the best rye bread.
yeah, but this is there are very few people because also
Yeah,
mostly when I do consulting, you go in a bakery, you show them everything is nice, and you turn around and finally they do like they want.
yeah. Because
Because
if the owner is not involved there,
no, if the people are not passionate, then the things is like this. Then yeah, but yeah, when we go back to when we talked about open crumb, this is uh, I think it marks a different and is a different story to all the other breads. Yeah, and we can also say, yeah, of course, for me, the Open Crumb Challenge started stepping in Tartine Bakery in Chad bread because his bread, the crumb structure was amazing for me. The taste was not blowing my mind because here he has different ideas than I have. The bread was for me a little bit too sour, yeah, but it is in
matter
United.
of taste.
Yeah, it's a question of taste, but the structure of the bread and how it was done was like I never saw anything like this in Europe before. And like this came everything up, and I wanted to learn these kind of things.
But
Yeah,
you learn by yourself.
yeah, of course, I learned by myself because in this time nobody was
Sharing.
sharing this, and I had not the time to go in any school, and anyway.
You never did a course?
I did once a course in Germany in a school from the, yeah, it belongs like half to the government. I don't know how you call it, where everybody makes his title, like bread sommelier or master baker, but they have a way to teach like the German tradition. It's
Not open crumb. Definitely not open crumb.
definitely not, and definitely with a lot of yeast. Everything was with a lot of yeast. Even the rye bread was. Uh, 40% sourdough, 2% yeast. I could not understand anything what
I
they
think
are.
this maybe we choose this subject next about yeast and sourdough. And
Yeah, yeah, of course. But the thing is only that I never went to any school because I knew I will not learn what I was searching for. And I was searching for what I saw in the bakery of Chad Robinson. It was 2009. What I saw over there was a bread which I never saw before. Yeah. And not in Italy, not in Germany, not in Austria, not in Switzerland. And
you wanted to go and to try to make that bread.
yeah, I
He had his book in the time out. No, I don't
yeah,
have.
I remember that it was, I think it was out. It was his first, but I did not know nothing about this. The I was very thrilled about the texture of the bread, about the crumb, about the crust, and also the baguette. And his baguette is, I think, also made with Polish sourdough combination. And this was for me totally different. The bread was darker baked, and the caramel, the sourness of the bread was not with me. Yeah, but this was a thing. I was clear. you can manage the sourdough how you
How you
want. I
want.
knew a little bit about sourdough. I was not very good in these kind of things, but I knew how you can manage a sourdough more smooth or a little bit more sour, like you want. This has also to do with kind of flour you're using in the sourdough. Yeah, and like he used a 50-50 starter. We use only white, and we feed a lot. We feed 3 times in the day. Yeah, this is a different story. Like
Yeah.
this, we can do this with a baguette. I prefer to have the combination Polish sourdough, at least Polish
Yeah,
sourdough.
you are a Polish lover.
I think the crunchiness, the short bite, the real open crumb, which is like a spider web, you can get only with Polish and sourdough. I get very good crumb only with sourdough in the baguette, but I never get this spider web, this very thin, what I get with Polish and sourdough and pasta di riporto. Pasta di riporto is more or less pâte fermée. I work with a lot of free dog.
Yeah, this is also a way to reuse the doughs in the bakery, leftovers.
Yeah, you have to know this, control to do these kind of things, and definitely for focaccia, for baguette and ciabatta is a different story, because normally we bake in Romania in the production we bake the bread in the morning. I take home the baguette,
And
and
in the
in
afternoon,
the
yeah,
afternoon
it
and
was
the
perfect.
evening we eat it, and the sourdough baguette we could not eat anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
before I did also not know, because mostly when you work like we work, you eat always fresh bread
Yeah,
out of the oven, butter, wow, nice crumb, we eat it, it tastes very good. Yeah, but when you bake a bread, sourdough baguette at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you bake a Polish sourdough baguette at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you eat it at 5 o'clock in the evening, then you
it's
feel
true.
a big difference.
It's true.
Yeah, and this is the point. And I think also in one of the next podcast, what I want to do is I want to go a little bit to this point, how to read the bulk fermentation. This
Yeah.
is one of the most question what the people are telling to me.
Yes, it's true.
And unfortunately, reading the bulk fermentation has a lot of to do with experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. In this case, for today, we will say
Good night
good
to
night
us.
to
To
us.
other people, maybe it's good morning.
Okay, and
I
then
go to check the
and then
panettone.
okay,
Bye bye.
then we see us next time. Yeah. Thank you for watching us.